Thank you, Chairman Padilla. I look forward to working with you on the issues that we're discussing today, as well as other items such as reforms to the Endangered Species Act and to our work to ensure the continued supply from the Colorado River. And I want to thank our witnesses for being here today. I especially want to thank Mark Pepper, who runs the Wyoming Association of Rural Water Systems. You're always such a help in informing me about what our small rural water systems are facing. So I'm deeply grateful for your being here today. You wear many hats in Wyoming, and I'm deeply grateful that you took time out to be here today because I know you're super busy. Water is the key to life. While this sounds like an overly simple statement, for many Americans, it's a harsh reality. From droughts that constrain the supply to ever-increasing water bills, access to water is not universal across the country. In my home state of Wyoming, it's a constant struggle to keep water system operators to meet the needs of their communities, keep rates low while simultaneously complying with complex and evolving regulatory requirements from the EPA, and that's a challenge to our systems as well. Unfortunately, rural water systems have their own additional challenges. Small populations mean less ratepayers, which mean less revenue needed to make capital investments. I work with my colleagues on this committee to make significant investments in water infrastructure in the previous Congress, and I was pleased to see that effort included the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. However, Congress failed to make the investments in that bill in a fiscally responsible manner. If we are to continue investing in the needed infrastructure, Congress must find ways to ensure that we're not simply transferring our obligations to future generations. Outside of the capital investment needed, small systems also face difficulty finding, training, and retaining a workforce. Some estimates suggest that 1/3 of the water sector workforce will be eligible to retire in the next decade. That loss, not only of personnel but institutional knowledge, will put tremendous strains on water systems across the country. And once again, rural America will be the first and hardest hit by these retirements. In addition to these items, I'd be remiss if I did not express my concern with EPA's actions as it relates to PFAS. PFAS compounds are designed to be durable and not break down naturally. As a result, these compounds can be found in water and soils across the country. While we're working to better understand the science behind this class of chemicals, it is clear they do pose a threat to human health. So I support EPA's actions to establish a national primary drinking water standard for the most common PFAS compounds. Every single American deserves the peace of mind that their water is safe to drink. But I'm concerned that levels selected by EPA at 4 parts per trillion will represent an unfunded mandate on water systems while not being supported by the science. That level represents not a health-based standard, but instead the level at which these compounds can reasonably be detected. For reference, 4 parts per trillion is roughly the same as 4 droplets in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. As one might guess, the detection and treatment technology needed to handle something at the scale will be costly, and those costs will be borne by the communities these systems serve. EPA must evaluate the academic literature from across the world when selecting the levels for these standards and not just rush to the costliest option. EPA is also proposing to designate those same PFAS compounds under CERCLA, the Superfund law. If finalized, water systems that are treating for PFAS may be held liable under CERCLA, again at the expense of the ratepayer. When CERCLA was first written, it was done using the polluter pays model. Water systems, however, are not polluters of PFAS, as they have never used those compounds. As such, it's imperative that we work here in Congress to pass legislation that clarifies that entities such as water systems are not held liable for pollution to which they did not contribute. Thanks again for calling this hearing, Mr. Chairman. I look forward to hearing from our witnesses.
Great, thank you. And now I'd like to turn to our witnesses. First, I'd like to introduce Kyle Jones, who serves as Policy and Legal Director for the Community Water Center, an environmental justice nonprofit organization that works in rural and low-income communities in places like the San Joaquin Valley, which many refer to as the Salad Bowl of America. Mr. Jones has a background in environmental law, land use law, and local government advocacy. Mr. Jones, you're a long way from Visalia, but we know that you truly understand the impact that the policy that we enact here in Washington have on the folks back home, and your voice and the voices of the communities you work with must be a part of this conversation. Let me also introduce Rosemary Menard, the Water Director for the City of Santa Cruz. Ms. Menard has served for over 40 years in public service, holding several water utility leadership positions in Seattle, Washington, Portland, Oregon, and Washoe County, Nevada. As Water Director in Santa Cruz, Ms. Menard has helped guide the Santa Cruz Water Department through multiple droughts, wildfires, repair and replacement of aging infrastructure, a pending water treatment plant upgrade, meter replacements, and a plan to supplement the city's water supply and prepare for the ongoing effects of our changing climate. Thank you for testifying today. I look forward to hearing about the particular challenges and solutions water utilities are thinking about in the short, medium, and longer term. And I now once again turn to Senator Lummis to introduce Mr. Pepper.
Pepper has over 43 years of finance and administration experience, 34 plus years in senior management positions and 8 plus years in public accounting. He's been involved in surface and groundwater issues in Colorado, Nevada, Texas, and Wyoming during his career. Mr. Pepper chairs the Casper Area Economic Development Joint Powers Board. He also serves on the Wyoming Water Association Board of Directors and was appointed by the governor to appointed by the governor to the following current commissions or task forces: the State Emergency Response Commission, the State Qualification Review Committee, Governor's Non-Point Source Task Force, Governor's Small System Task Force, Governor's Special District Task Force, and is a member of the Governor's Solid Waste Citizens Advisory Committee. I don't know how you have time to do anything but go to meetings. He heads the state of Wyoming's largest utility membership organization that administers training and technical assistance programs enabling Wyoming's community water industry systems to meet the requirements of the Safe Drinking Water Act, Clean Water Act, and the Resource Conservation and